Hello and welcome to Rejoicing in Motherhood. I'm Kirsten Vossler, a mom of 10, and I love being a mom. I am here to encourage, inspire, and equip you to thrive in both motherhood and in life. We are here because we believe that motherhood is holy work, and we are going to venture out on this journey of motherhood together. Today on the show, we are going to talk about 2 charts that are changing our family. Yes, you heard that right. And no, they are not chore charts. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. But before we do, I'm so glad you're here. I look forward to seeing you and talking with you every single week. It is such a joy and a delight for me, and especially fun because now Rejoicing in Motherhood is not only on audio podcasts, but we are also on YouTube and Spotify as a video podcast as well. If this is your first time hearing about this, I would love to have you hop over to YouTube and subscribe to the Rejoicing in Motherhood channel. There are going to be podcasts there. Eventually, I may start posting other content there too, and I have a few shorts up there as well. So go ahead and avail yourself of all the content that is there on YouTube. And don't worry, audio podcasts are not going anywhere. So everywhere that you're used to listening is going to stay exactly as it is. It's just that we're adding video podcasts to both YouTube and Spotify. So what are these charts, and why am I saying that they are changing our life as a family? That sounds pretty dramatic, but it's actually true. So we have these 2 charts, and they came about at different times and for different reasons, but they're both reasons that you are going to want to know about. And so I'm here to tell you about them. And I want to say first, charts only work as long as you are making them work. So I'm like every other mom. I love charts. I want to make chore charts, school charts, all these different charts. And I just have this idea that if I make a chart, everybody's going to want to do it. And they're just going to magically do everything. And all I'm going to have to do is make the chart, and then it just goes. And the truth is, that's not always what happens. At least in my house, we get a little bit of a boost of energy. We do a chart for a few days or maybe a week. And then I kind of fall off the wagon. My kids kind of fall off the wagon. We all get kind of tired of it. We get kind of bored. It feels too complicated. It's too busy. There's too many steps, whatever it is. We can't find a marker. And then we just kind of slowly let it go. And I have done this so many times. I cannot even tell you. Have you heard the anecdote that there is no one so full of false hope as a mom who has just made a new chore chart? I have definitely found that to be true in my life. And so I waited a few months after these charts became a thing in our family. And about 1 week into us using one of the charts, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to do a podcast about this. It's so incredible. It is literally transforming our family life. But then I thought to myself, I better wait, because I don't want this to be one of those flash in the pan charts that works amazing for a week or 10 days. And then we just kind of fall off and we don't keep it up and it just dies and it sits on our wall for 6 months until we take the paper down and throw it away. But I'm happy to report that that has not happened. This has actually changed and is continuing to work in our family. The first one is an accountability chart. Not a behavior chart, but an accountability chart. The second one is an incentive chart. So let me tell you about the first one first. My husband and I have been talking about this type of a chart for a while, just as a supplement to our child training efforts. We have 10 children. The oldest 3 are teenagers. The littlest is 1. I will give you a caveat about little tiny children in just a minute. But basically, we've been thinking about a chart like this to use as a tool in our efforts and attempts to raise really amazing, godly, responsible, self-starting kids. And the idea of the accountability chart is this. There are 3 strikes and then you're out. So it doesn't really matter what the infraction is. If it is something that's not worthy of an immediate consequence, then we give them an X. We just call this the X chart or the accountability chart. And so every kid has a line, and every line has 3 spots and then a consequence spot. Now, the reason that this chart is working so well for us is that it allows our kids who are old enough to be able to see where they are and what they're up to because basically they are then able to take responsibility and take control of their own behavior, their own attitudes, their own responsibilities and jobs. And they're able to see, oh dear, I want to make sure that I don't get all 3 boxes checked. I want to not have a consequence after that 3rd one is checked. So we are using this chart for 3 different types of infractions, let's say. The first one is attitude. If somebody has a bad attitude when we ask them to do something, they get an X. The second thing is relationship. If there's a relational crash and they fight with each other or they're mean to somebody, they get an X. And the third thing is a job. Any jobs that they have around our house that are just their normal everyday things that they're supposed to do, and they know exactly what they are, and they've been instructed that this is what you're supposed to do. Let's say after dinner, your job is to clean the living room. And if they don't, instead of me nagging at them, trying to follow up, continually being on their case, they just get an X. It is that simple. And then when they accumulate 3 X's, then we decide on a consequence. Now, this consequence is going to vary from child to child and from situation to situation. But the really cool thing is this chart, and the reason I say it's changing our life, is that it has taken the energy of making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing and following up. It has taken that energy off of mom and dad, and it has put it on our children. And so even our 4-year-old is able to recognize, oh dear, I don't want to get an X. I'm going to do my job right away. Or I don't want to get an X. I'm going to have a good attitude when mom tells me it's time to go take a nap. And it has transformed our family. There is no nagging. There is no begging and pleading, please, you got to do your job. Did you do your job? Did you do your job? What about this? Who forgot this? Who messed this? Why are you guys fighting? That has basically ended. And instead, all I say is, oh dear, that's an X. I go over to the chart, I put a little X by their name, and that's the end of that for right then. It is also super helpful because then I'm not having to come up with consequences on the fly. Perhaps this is true for you too. But sometimes in the midst of my busy everyday life, when there's an infraction, sometimes it feels like it would be easier to just skip the consequence and just say to them, don't do that again. Right? And just skip it and move on with our day because things are moving so quickly. And so things have honestly gotten missed. As I'm training my kids, either it feels like it's going to be too long, or we just are in the middle of something else, or I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing and to completely change courses. And there are absolutely times for that. So I don't want to make this sound like we've thrown out all of our other tools and all of our other ways of training our children. We're only doing this X chart and we have no more relationship with them. We're just like, X? No, that's not happening. The reason this is working is because it gives us a little bit of breathing room between the infraction and the consequence. It allows us to come up with a consequence that is actually going to be helpful for our child. It is actually going to teach them a lesson. Let me give you an example. So some of our children are extroverts, some of them are introverts. Some of them are kind of somewhere in the middle. Well, those introverts would not be bothered by being asked to stay home from an event because they had 3 X's and they needed a consequence. But the extroverts, oh my goodness, if there was something coming up and they thought they were going to go, and then they realized that because they had 3 X's, they were not going to be able to go, ouch, that's a consequence that hurts them in the right place. It is actually going to teach them that they can't just do what they want and get away with bad attitudes and being mean to their siblings and not following through on their responsibilities. No, it is actually going to benefit them by teaching them that they are responsible for their actions. And so that's where this chart, this accountability chart, is shining in our family right now. It is teaching our children how to take responsibility for their own actions and to do things that they know are right and in a proper timing. Now, let's talk about little tiny children. We are not using the X chart for our 1-year-old, obviously. We are occasionally using it for the 2.5-year-old, but he's pretty savvy and he understands a lot. He gets the idea of the X's. But with little tiny children, they don't have the same concept of time and things accumulating. They don't have that same understanding. And really, they need very quick consequences that are connected to the actions that they're doing. And so we're not using the X chart really for the little tiny kids. So if you have little children, I'd say under like the age of 4, this may not be the best tool for you. But in our family, 4-ish and up, they are really getting it. It is really working well. Okay, enough about accountability charts. Let me tell you about the second chart. This second chart is the most fun one. So my 15-year-old daughter actually came up with this one on her own. So all credit to Sarah. And this incentive chart is so much fun. It started out being called the brownie game. I walked into the house from outside one day, and Sarah was standing there with a paper and a marker, and she was putting everything up on the wall. And I said to her, "What are you doing there?" And she said, "Mom, I just made up this incredible game. It's working so well." And what she had done is she'd written everybody's name down, and then she had a space for 7 points. And once the kids got to 7 points, they got a brownie, hence the brownie game. Now, the way they earn points was even more exciting to me because she had made a list of all these opportunities that they had to earn points. And essentially, they were things around our house that didn't have anybody assigned to them. And so they weren't getting done very much, but they needed to be done. So she had things on there like dust the baseboards, fold a basket of laundry that's in the laundry room, pull a bucket of weeds. We have a lot of weeds around our house. And every job that she had put on the opportunity list had a number of points assigned to it. And so the kids were running around looking for things to do. Now we've been through several different iterations of this. It's been the brownie game. It's been the cookie game. It has even been the ice cream game. And we are just keeping this going. So you could think of any treat or any special prize that you wanted to for your family. In our family, a brownie is a big treat because we don't eat them very often, or an ice cream cone is a pretty big treat. So once they had 7 points, they could cash those in for a treat. So the way this has transformed our family is the kids are now asking me for jobs to do. "Mom, put some more jobs on the list. What other jobs can we do, Mom? What other jobs can we do?" So every few weeks, I again add dust the baseboards or wash down the doors or the handles or wash the light switches or do the laundry. Any job that isn't getting done and isn't really assigned to anyone, but just needs somebody to do it, those are the things we put on the opportunity list. And they get points for them. And they're loving them. And I tell you what, my house has never been cleaner. And there you have it. This super practical, super simple 2-chart system that has literally transformed our family this summer. If you want, you can download our charts as well. They are simple. They are not fancy. They are very basic, but I will leave a link in the description for you so that you can click on there, enter your email, and you can download these charts that we've been using. Remember to modify them however you want to fit your family. The whole point is that it's simple, it's easy, it doesn't require a lot of prep, it doesn't require a lot of upkeep. It's just stop nagging and make an X. And then the incentive chart is literally like, make a list of things that need to be done around your home that your children are able to do and give them a few points for it. And they can add points until they get to 7, and then whoop-de-doo, they get a prize. So this is super practical, super simple. I think it will be amazingly helpful for these last weeks of summer that we have, and even going into fall. Perhaps this is something that will be useful for your family, even in the school year. And speaking of the school year, keep on the lookout because I am currently in the process of rewriting my homeschooling preschool book. Yes, I wrote a little book a while back about how to homeschool preschool, and I am completely redoing it. Basically rewriting the whole thing, adding tons more content and so many more examples, so many more life stories, so many more things that are going to be incredibly helpful to you. And it's going to be for sale very soon. So keep your eyes out. Hopefully within the next few weeks or a month, you will see it and you'll be able to grab it to just help you understand kind of my philosophy of how I preschool my kids and how that works in our family. And I think it will be a really big blessing for you. If you have little children who are basically from the ages of like 0 to 7, this is the kind of book that you're going to want because it's going to just kind of help set your framework and your mindset about children and education. And I think you're really going to like it. So my friend, I bless you this week with joy, that the joy of heaven would be over you and that every single thing that you do, no matter how simple or huge it is, would be filled with joy. I am so glad you joined me today. Friend, have a great week. And remember, Motherhood is holy work.